All right, welcome to part 4 of our video series. And if you've ever had a prospect say no to your business, this video is going to reveal why that happens and how to avoid it. Now, the first thing that we need to understand is that every single action decision every single person on this planet makes is based on one single thing: the desire to avoid pain or acquire pleasure. That's it. From the length of your hair to the fact that you open this email and are watching this video right now, to the job that you chose, were all decisions made because they either gave you pleasure or helped you avoid pain. Now, this is very important for you and I as networkers to know, because it's really going to allow us to do our job, which is to market and promote much more effectively. For example, when our prospects say no, it's really because they perceive the pleasure they were going to gain from starting a home business didn't outweigh the pain of the startup costs or moving outside their comfort zone, right? Now, you can get them over this perceived pain by really positively pumping up their emotional states, and this is what you see at home meetings or on big conference calls, right? See, every single thing we buy stems from emotion. You bought the clothes that you're wearing right now because of how they made you feel. You chose the car that you're driving because it's nice and it makes you feel proud, or possibly because it was inexpensive and you felt great saving the money, or because you avoided the pain of spending too much money that you didn't have, right? You bought into your business because it gives you a feeling of hope that you can achieve more, or possibly because it's going to eventually help you avoid the pain of going to a job that you really don't like. So if you want to get fewer no's and more yeses when you prospect, you really need to understand that buying into a business and a dream is based on emotion. Now, think about that. How is buying into this business going to make your prospects feel better? How is it going to help them avoid pain? Well, once you've communicated the benefits that can come from your business, you really need to help them justify their decision with logic, which is what all of us do. You really bought that new Lexus, and we're going to pretend you just bought a Lexus, right? Because of how it made you feel, but you're probably telling yourself and telling everyone else that you bought it because it's a brand new hybrid Lexus. That gets you more miles per gallon, which is much better for the environment, right? So it's funny how that works. You bought into your business because of how it made you feel if you were to triple your income, right? But you justified the decision to get started with that business probably because it was a ground floor of opportunity of some kind, or it had an experienced management team or a brand new spectacular product. Who knows? Bottom line is that you probably justified the decision you made with some kind of logical reason. Now, you need to be careful though, because getting started has to be your prospect's idea, not yours. Now, if someone gets involved and comes to a really exciting overview call or a really exciting meeting in your local town, and their emotional state just gets really pumped up by the people and the presenters, the people who are putting it on, in order to really inspire them to become a distributor right then and there on the spot, it's probably going to backfire on you once that emotional state wears off. This is called buyer's remorse. That's what happens when any talented salesperson is put in front of someone who doesn't really know what they want. Now, again, if you want a prospect to become a distributor, make sure that it's their idea, because once someone has had the time to completely digest this decision, they become extremely committed and they're in it for the long haul, which is exactly what you want in a team member. Now, the best way to allow someone to sell themselves is to continually market to them over a period of time. And everybody's different. Some people will sell themselves within a day or two, others will take weeks or months. The point that I'm trying to make, though, is that it has to be on their timetable and not yours. So get rid of all of those high-pressure sales tactics and incentives that you may or may not be using in your presentations, and you're going to start sponsoring higher quality people when you do that. Now, what we're really talking about here is just psychology. And there are actually 6 different key points regarding human nature that you really need to know in order to be the most effective marketer possible. And I'm going to share 3 of those with you right now today. I've already given you the first. And the second is that most people are lazy. Sorry to say that. They want better, faster, and cheaper, right? That's the American way these days, unfortunately. But as a marketer and as an entrepreneur who doesn't have any of those characteristics, which hopefully you and I share, anytime you can pre-package or manufacture an end result for someone, you're probably going to sell a whole lot of that product or service. Now, think about diet pills. You can eat anything you want and still lose weight just by taking our pills, right? That's the pitch we see on TV 20 times a day. Look at lead generation companies. Most people don't want to go out and learn how to market or produce their own leads. They'd rather pay a lead company to go out and do that for them. Now, I'm sure you probably get the idea from just those two examples alone, and I'm sure you can think of many more yourself. But the third characteristic, or the third trend that I want to talk about real quick, is that most people would really rather learn how to do something than actually go out and do it. The people out there like to purchase hope of a result instead of actually going out and working for that result. And I'm sure you've seen the evidence of this process many times over in your business. How many times have you sponsored a distributor who went out and got started but never really did anything? They just fell off the face of the earth, right? You never heard from them again. Most of your reps, I'm going to assume, fall in that category, 70, 80% probably. And really what happened is they fell into the emotional trap we mentioned before, and they experienced buyer's remorse. They didn't make a solid, committed decision. They gave in to their emotions, and when those emotions wore off, their desire to become entrepreneurs faded away. Well, the simple fact of the matter is that this is going to happen to 80% of your prospects and distributors. This is the 80-20 rule. You can't avoid it. Most people are lazy. They're going to purchase hope. They are under the impression that success comes from something outside of themselves. Now, if you don't come to the table with that knowledge, it's really going to have a major impact on your bank account. Much more so than you could possibly imagine, but there is definitely something that you can use in order to turn this into an advantage and actually turn these people into a profitable part of your business model. And you have to. You really don't have a choice anymore because they're going to make up the majority of all of these prospects that you're spending a ton of money on through your advertising to create, right? So now that we know a little bit more about what makes us as people work, what makes us buy, what makes us respond to an offer, let's talk about that problem. And it's a pretty big one in this industry, and it's profitability. 9 out of 10 business owners in this industry are going to end up spending more money than they ever make, which means there's a very good chance right now that you were probably one of them. That's okay. I was in the same position for over 6 years. Honestly, it's almost like a rite of passage in this industry. It's kind of like a battle scar, shared by those of us willing to seek and go out and fight for financial independence. There's always going to be a price to pay for your education. That's all there is to it. But what you're going to be glad to know is that there's a very specific reason why most networkers are not making a profit, and an equally simple solution. And I'm going to share that with you. And in fact, a friend of mine recently took a method I teach in magnetic sponsoring and used it to make an extra $145,000 per month residual income in less than 60 days. And I'm going to tell you how he did that right now.